Welcome back to Ironback Nation. I wanted to do a video about who I am and where I came from and how I got to where I am now. I was born in 1976. I was born in Fayetteville, North Carolina. A lot of you would know it probably as Fort Bragg. I graduated high school in 1995. I got married a few days later. Had some kids. Had a job at Advanced Auto Parts. Cars was my something I wanted to do. So I figured I'd work in an auto parts store to learn about parts, and then I could work on cars. I had 3 kids at the time in 1998 when I got fired from my job. I wanted to join the Marine Corps when I first got out of high school, but I let somebody talk me out of it, and so I didn't join. After I got fired, the first place I went was to the recruiting station, and I joined the Marine Corps on October the 10th-ish, and I was at boot camp October 19th, October 20th, which is my birthday. Spent 3 months down at Parris Island at boot camp, just like anybody else does, unless you get held back, which would probably be no fun. Went to Lejeune, was stationed down at Lejeune for right at 4 years, 2nd Battalion, 8th Marines. We did a MU, went to Kosovo. I was in 0311, which is a grunt infantry. I re-enlisted and ended up down at Parris Island for a little over, right at 3 years. Worked at the Visitor Center, which is odd, I know. From the Visitor Center, I went back to Lejeune, 1st Battalion, 6th Marines, where we deployed to Ramadi, Iraq. Basically, that's where my story starts, as to how I got to where I am now. Lost a good buddy of mine in Iraq. Everybody's PTSD stems from one incident normally, and then other things stack onto it. This was the one incident for me. I dream about it a lot that day, what happened. It affects my sleep a lot. I wake up drenched in sweat. And when you lose a lot of sleep, you lose a lot of focus, you lose a lot of memory, you have a lot of anger, stuff of that nature. After I got back to the States, I had to go see some counselors and stuff like that, and they were gonna discharge me out of the Marine Corps for PTSD and traumatic brain injury. I was asleep in my cot. I was the only one in the room. A mortar hit the side of my room, which generator was attached to the room. It all blew up at the same time. I don't know if it scared me awake because I was asleep, or if the pressure actually blew me out of my cot and it hit my head. Knocked me out for a second or two. Woke up, but anyway, that's beside the point. They were gonna discharge me for PTSD/TBI, and I begged to either they wouldn't let me deploy anymore. Is basically what it comes down to. And I tried to change my MOSs. They wouldn't let me. I'd been in the Marine Corps too long, so they discharged me at 9 years and a couple months, right at 6 months, I think it was. And then I got depressed, and I was at home, and all I did was play Xbox and eat Oreos, and I went from about 180, 190 pounds to about 240. This took a couple years. I mean, it wasn't overnight, obviously. And I want to say that was the PTSD keeping me down, not making me want to have any goals in life. And it all gets to us. And then one point in my life, something happened, and it made me turn around, made me change. I started working out. First thing I did was P90X with a buddy of mine. Did a USMC mud run. And if you look at my website, it's ironbackfitness.com. At the bottom, you'll see a picture of me. It looks like I have mud on my face, and then a picture of me that is newer. Now, I weigh the same in both of these pictures, but my body composition is a lot different. the lifting weights after the P90X and the mud run and a couple other things. I started working out at this place called Accelerated Sports Institute here in Greenville, South Carolina, and it was a sports institute for baseball players, football players, basketball players, hockey players, dancers. Basically, a strength and conditioning place. It kind of resembles CrossFit, but it's not, because it's more of form, speed, and agility than it is what CrossFit is. So I did that for about 8 months and got down to about 180 pounds. I think I was 178 my last day that I worked out the ASI. And I could do 23 pull-ups when I left that place. And when I looked in the mirror one day, I decided I'm just skinny. I'm not what I want to be. This is not what I want to be. I want to be bigger than this. So I decided to bodybuild. So about 18 months ago, I started bodybuilding. I asked for help from people online and didn't really get much help. So I just started doing a lot of the research on my own and figuring out foods and what programs I should be doing. And so I kind of just tweaked it as my own. So for the last 18 months, I've been doing this by myself as far as the food, learning the proper lifts. YouTube, I use YouTube a lot. Followed a couple pages. Elliot Holes was a big one. Physiques of Greatness, I watch them a lot. A couple of others that are a little bit smaller than those two. Those are probably two of the largest ones. And, of course, the Hodge twins, because they were Marines. And you have some sort of loyalty. In my opinion, I have some sort of loyalty to Marines in general. So after doing all this exercise, all this weightlifting, I've kind of come to terms with that I've replaced my depression, my PTSD, with the iron. It helps. I get counseling every month, take meds, blah, 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 but nothing has helped me more than the iron. So I look at it like this. If you are a Marine, Army, Navy, Air Force, you did a lot of fitness while you were in. So doing fitness when you get out kind of makes you feel like you belong again. This is just how I feel. I feel like I belong to a fitness community. Lots of supporters. There's a bunch of people out there that say, why do you do it? Why do you do it? Why do you do it? And I got that for a long time until they saw the changes in my body from one year to the next. And then you're like, well, how did you do it? What did you do to do it? And the thing I tell them the most is discipline. It's hard to get out there and just do it by yourself. The last 3 to 4 months, I've had a buddy of mine come working out with me every day. You've seen him in a couple of videos, and that is a huge help to have a good show up all the time fitness buddy, somebody that's there for you and you can help push you past your limits, and you got to worry about killing yourself when you're trying to do a bench press or a squat that you can't get up. You got a spotter. So the point behind this video is I've decided that I'm going to use fitness to try to help those who need help. Veterans that have PTSD, anybody who has PTSD. I like to raise awareness for PTSD in general. You don't have to be a veteran to have PTSD. We all have PTSD from traumatic incidents, from our past life, or recently, or car wreck, or seeing a murder, watching someone die that you know that's close to you, that you love. PTSD just doesn't hurt or just doesn't stick to veterans. And I also like to help out homeless veterans. It's a hard thing for me to see a veteran on the street that's homeless and hungry. When he served his nation, they asked so much of him. Combat or not, the military asks a lot of its people. And then when they get out and they need help, and then they get screwed, that's what I would like to stop. So This page has started, hopefully, a trend for Ironback Fitness. I'm going to be getting some t-shirts here next week, hopefully. I'm going to give away 5. I have a few contests here on the page. And hopefully get the word spread about my website, my page, and what I'm trying to do. My end goal is something I've always wanted to do ever since I've got out of the Marine Corps, is to build a barracks in every major city in each state in the United States of America for homeless veterans, for a place for them to sleep at nighttime, a place where they can hang out and play cards and become part of a group again, become part of something. Because becoming part of this fitness community has helped me a lot. Of course, my family has helped also, but as a military person, we all have a certain mindset. And being part of something, be it it's very small or being it's very large, means a lot. So my ultimate goal is to build these barracks, and I'll start here in Greenville, South Carolina, hopefully, if I raise enough money to get it started. And I'd like to spread out throughout the United States. What I will probably end up trying to do, which I know would help a lot, is to start creating gyms that are called Ironback Fitness, and they will be a nonprofit gym. The employees that work there will make money, but any profits and all profits will support the barracks, the operation, the employees of the barracks, the people who clean, the people who stand fire watch for these veterans that are asleep, the doctors that will be there, the financial advisors that will try to get there to help these guys get back on their own feet and get into their own place. That's my ultimate goal. It would be nice to see it happen within the next 5 or 10 years. And I hope that we all spread the message that we as a nation owe these veterans something better than what they have. So stay tuned. I'm going to do a video at the end of the week on some squats, maybe a deadlift or 2. And I will announce Monday when the contest will begin. Until then, stay fit.